Thanks for tuning in to Airshow Sports. It's your boy Young Cantu coming at you with a fight recap. Brandon Glanton wins a split decision over Efetobor Apochi in an epic 10-round slugfest that saw Apochi have to take a standing 8 count at the end of the 6th round after Brandon Glanton land a huge left hook followed by a right hand that threw Apochi back up into the ropes. Apochi was out on his feet. It was the first time that we had seen Apochi ever hurt in a fight, and that was the difference in the fight as Glanton won by the scorecards of 95-94, 95-94 in a split decision. The other judge gave Apochi a 96-93 outcome. Now, my honest take on the fight, like I said, it was going to be fireworks all night. High action affair with neither guy taking a step back. Efetobor Apochi was forced on his back foot for most of the fight. It's the first time we had ever seen that happen. And that was the perfect game plan for Brandon Glanton, as he told me personally before this fight that he was going to back up Apochi, walk him down, and hurt him.
I'm going to walk him down. I'm going to shut him down. He won't be able to breathe. I'm going to overwhelm him. I'm going to keep on jabbing in his face. I'm going to turn him. I'm going to hurt him and make him put his hand in his pocket.
That's exactly what he did. But Apochi was game, as his durability allowed him to stay in the fight. Unfortunately, he was never able to really hurt Glanton. He did hit Glanton with some solid uppercuts, some solid hooks. He caught Glanton with a glancing right hand at the end of the final round that gave the appearance that Glanton was hurt. But in my opinion, I think Glanton was more off balance when he took that shot, which is what made him look like he got staggered. I don't think he was necessarily hurt. But look, I gotta give respect to both fighters. Apochi came to fight and so did Brandon. And Apochi, you know, he took some solid blows from Brandon, who was significantly bigger and had the weight advantage. I know personally that Brandon rehydrated up to 220 plus after weighing in just over the cruiserweight limit of 200 pounds. He came in at 200.4 pounds, while Apochi came in at 199.2. Apochi was naturally smaller, and he wasn't a guy that had to cut much weight to make the limit. So, you know, what did we learn from this fight? We learned that, you know, the bigger man who has comparable reflexes and boxing skill maybe not have the same amateur pedigree as the guy in Apochi from Nigeria, who had a solid amateur career. Glanton took on the sport a little later, but that didn't make a difference in the fight. You know, Brandon sported a solid high guard defense and was parrying and basically deflecting all of Apochi's power shots off of his gloves, whether it was Apochi's winging hooks, straight right hands. Apochi tried the uppercut plenty of times. Glanton had his guard up, didn't let him penetrate it. Just a brilliant performance by Brandon Glanton. And, you know, there were moments where I thought Glanton looked fatigued in those middle rounds, and it looked like Apochi was coming on. He started to throw punches in bunches, and he seemed like he was on the right track to really start to swing the tide. But, you know, Glanton was able to withstand, and that turning point late in the 6th round where he stunned Apochi back into the ropes really was the difference in the fight, in my opinion. And this was a tight scorecard, but like I said, I think the right man got the decision. I just want to address some of the things that were said before the fights. For those of you who have been tuning into my videos, you know, look, I love Brandon Glanton. That's my boy right there. You know, I've known him for a few years now, and I've supported him, you know, and I was rooting for him in the fight. But at the end of the day, I wanted to see a good fight. Efetobor Apochi is still an inspiration to so many, and he's an inspiration to me, despite the fact that I was going up against him in this fight and that he lost the fight, man. The dude's a warrior. You can't take anything away from him. He kept coming. He kept throwing. Like I said, it seemed like he was on the right track. He just needed to let his hands go and throw, and it seemed like he got tired and he started to get irresponsible defensively, and Brandon took advantage of it, man. Like I said, just a brilliant performance by Brandon Glanton. But there needs to be respect put on Efe Apochi's name. And like I said, he said some controversial things in the lead up to the fight. You know, he basically said some offensive things about, you know, the American black fighters. But look, Efe Apochi's a good man. He's got a great heart. You know, he's been through a lot in his life. He said some controversial things, but I don't think that defines him. And, you know, one thing that Apochi has said in interviews I've done with him is that he didn't come this far just to come this far. I expect the man to come back strong. And I expect him to get into the mix to get a shot at the world title. I wouldn't doubt Apochi becoming a world champion. I still think that Apochi can become a world champion. So if I'm saying that about Apochi, you definitely know how I feel about Brandon Glanton. I believe Brandon Glanton is the best cruiserweight in the world today. I don't care who the champions are. Usyk moved up to heavyweight. He's no longer in the division. Brandon Glanton is the best cruiserweight in the world today. He wasn't ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies top 10 before this fight, but I'll be damned if he isn't after. Apochi was #1 in the WBA, and I asked him before the fight why he would take a fight against Brandon Glanton. This is a dangerous fight against someone who's hungry. Apochi didn't believe it was a dangerous fight. Why take a fight against a dangerous, undefeated fighter in Brandon Glanton? This is a dangerous fight, man.
To me, he's not dangerous to me.
And it's safe to say that he overlooked Brandon, and he didn't give Brandon the respect that he deserved going into this fight. And he was in for a rude awakening. At the end of the day, it was the Nigerian pit bull getting broke down by Bulletproof himself. And it was a tight scorecard, so it could lead to a potential rematch down the line. Brandon Glanton is adamant that he's going to stop Apochi inside 5 rounds if they do get the rematch. So, you know, a lot to talk about, but at the end of the day, this was an instant classic. Definitely in the hat for fight of the year. And I gotta say, man, I'm so proud of both fighters for coming in, and I'm so happy that they're gonna be able to step out of the ring alive and well, able to get back to their families, able-bodied, in good spirits. And like I said, you know, I love Apochi and I love Brandon. Those are my brothers right there. You know, one day we're gonna be looking back and talking about this fight and how epic it was and how much of a defining moment it was for both these guys in their careers. And it's going to be interesting to see where these guys go from here. Airshow Sports was the first one to bring you this fight. And like I said before, we're only in the business to make the biggest fights happen. This was one of the biggest and most entertaining fights of the year. You know, Chris Arreola against Andy Ruiz was another fight that we cultivated. So at the end of the day, if you're not looking for the best fights, I don't know what you're doing. You stay locked to Airshow Sports. That's what we're going to give you. It's your boy Young Cantu signing off. Thanks for all the new subscribers, all the new fans who are tuning in to the channel. Brandon Glanton wins a split decision over Efe Apochi in an epic 10-round slugfest. And guess what? Brandon went up to Efe Apochi's trainer, Ronnie Shields, right after the fight. And I'm sure some words were exchanged because before this fight, Ronnie Shields said he didn't know who Brandon Glanton was. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the fighter Brandon Glanton.
I never heard of him. I mean, I never seen him before. But I saw something on the internet about this guy. I mean, I don't know who he is.
95-94 in favor of the winner. He is still undefeated. Bulletproof Brandon Glanton.
I never heard of him. I mean, I never seen him before. But I saw something on the internet about this guy. I mean, I don't know who he is.